Thank you, Speaker, and thank you all for the conversation related to these bills. I know debate is extremely important here, and so I appreciate not calling the question before I had the chance to speak on it. And I remember seeing this in subcommittee and in committee, and sponsor, thank you, because as our colleagues who voted for it, I believe in the intent of the legislation, which is to help salvage yards, to get access to more space, to get the lien on these vehicles that have been totaled or that an insurance company has said they are not going to pay for. I think it's a good idea, but there were some reservations that I had when this was in committee that I wanted to make sure we brought to the committee of the whole here, which is the amount of time that it takes for the salvage yard to get control of these cars. An individual who learns that their insurance company is no longer going to total their vehicle out is given only 30 days to get access to this car. When this happens, there are two notices that are given. One is sent immediately by the salvage yard to the individual owner that says, hey, you're about to lose possession of your car if you don't come and get it. And there's a second one, 14 days later, that says a similar thing that's sent through certified mail. I think our salvage yards and owners and operators of those industries are going to benefit from this. We know how important it is for people to be able to have that space, and so I don't disagree with that at all. But I am and still am concerned about the timing. Giving individuals only 30 days to get access to what might be their only means of transportation, despite the condition that is in, is not enough time when in our state the minimum wage is $7.25. And if I remember what the sponsor said in committee correctly, people could have fines of up to $1,000. And so if you are an indigent or a poor person who this is your only means of transportation and you have just learned from your insurance company that they are not going to cover the cost of totaling your vehicle, and this is your only means of transportation, how else are you going to get around? You have to have access to this vehicle, but you need the time to be able to pay the fines that the salvage yard has racked up over time, which is why in committee I was behooving you that we might expend the amount of time to allow for people to be able to pay to get access to their car. The other concern is that it is done by certified mail. You all know the mailing system just as I do. I love USPS, always supporting them. But the reality is the amount of time that something might take can get interrupted, as we had with a winter or weather storm, and that is not being taken into account, nor was an electronic provision added into this legislation, which was actually recommended by Chairman Howe when we were in committee. And so, again, I believe the timing being extended is something that's extremely important here. I believe having other methods for people to be able to receive notification are important here, and these things are lacking in this legislation, which is why in its current form, I would urge all of you not to support it. Although, again, the intent of it is good, sponsor, I think I completely understand that. The reality is there are some provisions within this legislation that are going to be harmful to people in our communities who this might be their only means of transportation, particularly if, as you mentioned, they need this car to not only be taken off of the yard, but then need a lot of work to be done to it. And so that's why I cannot support this legislation in its current form, while I appreciate the overarching intent of it. Thank you.